What's up, Cody? Create Your Purpose. This is episode 14 of the Create Your Purpose show. I'm here with Christian.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going? So, man, we are here in downtown Peterborough at the Innovation Cluster. This is extremely exciting to just have the opportunity, sit and chat about just what you're doing, why you're doing it. You're also in school right now, so exam season is closely approaching. So why don't you just give us a little bit of a background behind what you're doing, why you're doing, and just give us the 411 of who Christian is.
Okay. Well, let's start off with school then. Christian is a business student at Trent University right now, doing my 2-year degree program. I came from college, and I also work part-time in the Innovation Cluster, so I'm the marketing and events coordinator. I work here about 25 hours a week, and I juggle life between the two of them, which is fun. It's a good time.
Juggle. Okay, let's talk about that. How do you juggle between working part-time here and going to school full-time? How does that work?
Yeah, I think that a lot of people have. Do you want me to look there with you?
Look at me. Look at there. Look whoever. You can look at whoever you want.
Oh, okay. I think a lot of people have a lot of issues with time management. Time management is a skill that not a lot of people get the chance to practice very often.
Yeah.
Because when you're going to school full time, you're going to school full time.
Yeah.
You don't really think about also working full time or getting more jobs. Blah blah blah.
I think it's a huge thing, just
Yeah.
being able to really balance school and work. It's really a big thing. How do you do that?
It's a lot of planning. It's a lot of using your calendar and waking up and not sleeping. And for example, I didn't sleep last night. So
Yeah.
it's just a lot of planning because I set my day up in a way that I always know what the next thing is that I'm doing rather than what assignment's next or what task do I need to go. Oh, I need to go into work now. I try and make it very scheduled. So I go to work at these times. I'll wake up every single day at the same time, and I always plan my day out. So I put in my calendar when I need to do stuff, who I'm doing it with, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to Innovation Cluster, how many hours are you doing here versus doing school? What does that breakdown look like?
Sure. Yeah. So I go to school about 8 hours a week this
Okay.
semester, and I work about 25 hours a week.
Now, are you done? Now after this, this is your final semester?
Yeah.
Okay.
1 month left. 5 courses, which is a full-time load, so that for 1 more month, and then I'll be at the Innovation Cluster full-time.
Awesome. And what makes you want to do this full-time? And what makes you want to do, what inspires you to wake up and decide, hey, this is what I'm supposed to do every morning. I'm supposed to come into Innovation Cluster, meet with all these amazing people, plan events for our community. What inspires you to do that?
Well, I've worked a lot of places, right? I started working when I was 14. I probably had more jobs than I've had haircuts, but I could tell
Good haircuts?
all bad.
Oh, bad.
Bowl cuts. Emo
bullets.
slices. Terrible. I dyed my hair green once. It was bad. But
That's honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to see grade 8 Christian with green hair and an emo slice.
We need to
Pretty
find a photo
terrible.
of that and post it in this vlog. Just right there, a photo.
I'm
holding you to that.
If I can find one, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
I was also a chubby kid. You
Okay.
know, like that. But the job situation is this, right? There's a lot of people out there that say you should do what you love. There's other people out there that follow money. I pretty much don't do either of those. I find something that I can dedicate myself to, and I'll work hard at that until I either love it or I make money at it.
Okay.
Or both, preferably.
And why do you think that you do that?
I think it's sort of like a BS idea to convince yourself that you have to do what you love.
Yeah.
Because there's 100,000 business graduates every single year, and I can guarantee you there's not 100,000 dream jobs for graduates every single year. So you got to be a little cognizant that you're going to work hard and you're going to do stuff that people don't want to do, and so you get to that position where you're going to be able to make those decisions where you're like, yeah, I'm going to do this because I love this, rather than I'm going to make a little bit less money doing something I don't like to do.
So what advice would you have to somebody who might be freshly graduating out of school but they're working full time at a job that they might hate, but it's paying very well? What advice would you have to that person who says, hey, I want to go and I want to venture off and do something new for myself, What advice would you have for that person that's sitting at home?
Yeah, that's a dangerous situation because you're making a lot of money, but you hate what you do. So you're sort of trapped in this comfort zone, and you don't want to leave it because all of a sudden life just became risky, sort of like the same jump an entrepreneur would make. Um, I mean, you got to slowly ease yourself into it if that's finding a part-time job on the side and putting more and more hours into that as you go. But I think that it's never a bad idea to be secure until you decide exactly what you want to invest your time in. So work that job that you don't like, save a bunch of money, and then once you've got all the money that you need, quit the job, do something you really love, and try that for a while.
Man,
But
I love that. I love that. I love that. Like because so the advice that so many people give is like just quit your job and like go off and do something that you just love, but it's not practical. Like that practical answer that people give is not practical. It's practical to have 2 to 3 jobs that you might hate and build something on the side that you really love.
yeah,
So what did that look like for you? Like what did like over the course of you said you went to school for 5 years?
oh yeah.
So you went to school for 5 years, like did you have other jobs in the meantime, or were you just doing innovation cluster? What did that look like that span of 5 years in school?
Sure. So my 3 years in college, I was at Durham College doing my diploma in marketing, and at one point, I had 3 jobs and full-time school going all the time.
3 jobs.
3 jobs,
Okay.
and I mean, I was no slacker in school. Like I got like a 94 average, so like I always tried to dedicate myself 100% to what I did. But I think that having more jobs actually made me better at school because I had less time to do the extras. So I was just always on. I was always going and going and going. And if I wasn't going at school, I needed to make money to pay for school. So I just kept going. In university, that was a little bit different because the coursework is a little bit more involved at home. So I had usually one job at all times. With the innovation cluster right now, I started in September, and I've been going pretty much more hours than I do at school since then.
Yeah.
But I think that it's always important to have a job while you're in university for a couple of reasons. You have the ability to get some, I wouldn't call it free experience, but people know that you're in this situation and they're willing to teach you and they're willing to help you learn as you progress through university or college or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
You can also get internship opportunities and things like that. And that's what I like to call free experience because once you graduate and you're out of school, a lot of people expect you to have this experience. And it's a good time for you to get it because people want to give it to you.
Yeah.
It's kind of unfair, but at the end of the day, once you graduate and you don't have any experience, people don't look at you the same as someone who may have had a job in college or university while you didn't,
It's so interesting because I look at like my time when I was spent in school 4 years, getting a degree and and I've sat down and chatted with a lot of, like kids my age, like adults now, my age that they get out of school and like we've been told this entire time that we go to school, get a degree, and then we're just going to be handed something, and it's not the case at all. People are looking for experience, but
yeah.
That requires you to put yourself out there to actually get that experience. So that's interesting. So how could Innovation Cluster help those people who are entrepreneurs or just like people who just want to give back to the community? Like what is something that what is the premise behind what you're doing here?
Yeah, so one of the most interesting parts about the innovation cluster is that we don't force you to do anything, right? Like it's all up to you. It's all how much you want to put into it, right? So you could be in university or college and you're thinking, I wish I had some more experience on the side, or I wish I had a job, or I wish I could like do this thing. The magic of it is that you can. It's just about self-motivation. So the innovation cluster helps because we kind of push you, but at the same time, everything is up to you. And when you graduate at the end of college or university, you either have something really amazing to show for it, or you have the most valuable lesson, and you did it during like the least risky time of your life. Yeah. I know it seems like it's the busiest time of your life, but honestly, there's no better time to learn and apply, because you're going to be doing that for the rest of your life anyways. Mm-hmm. I think the innovation cluster helps because we really just want people to succeed. We're not in it for your money or your shares or anything like that. Like, I see so many students come in here all the time with ideas, and they're just like super pumped about it. Mm-hmm. And it's nice to see that they don't lose that just because they're full-time in school or whatever.
Yeah.
It's nice to see that people can still do something on the side and be excited about it.
How would I, as an entrepreneur, like I want to actually start something. I'm in school, whether it be at Trent, whether it be at Fleming, wherever I may be. I walk into innovation cluster, and I want to get involved with what's going on, or I want help. And what does that process look like?
Yeah, so especially with the colleges and universities we have here, Fleming College and Trent University, we have what's called the Fast Start program. So anyone between the ages of 18 to 29, you're looking to start a business, could be related to anything, you come by and see us. So we have a presence on the university campus and the college campus. You can come visit us at our new building, 270 George Street North.
Right.
Right here. This spot to be. This is the Cube.
The cube.
It's really not that difficult. We just want to talk to you and see what it's like. And then from there, what happens is we'll either set you up with some space if you need it. We'll set you up with help to make those documents that you might need to get some funding or pitch or anything like that. We have a ton of experience with students that really don't know what direction to go into. So a lot of it's coaching that. I mean, it's as easy as giving us a phone call too. You don't actually have to come in.
So you don't have to actually physically walk into the building. If you're an introvert, you can
Yeah.
actually just physically send an email,
Yeah.
type in Google Innovation Cluster, and you'd probably find it,
Oh,
hopefully,
oh yeah.
depending on the SEO.
It's not that.
Okay, great.
Even if you messaged us on social media, I bet you someone would respond.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, man, I thank you so much for your time. I think the best way that we can wrap this up is just, if you had one question that you would want to ask our audience within PTPO Canada, what would it be? Like, what's one question you want answered?
Yeah. So I want to know what stops you from doing the thing that you want to do on the side. I mean, for me, ever since I was a kid, I've had tons of ideas about doing things, and I always convince myself not to do them because I'm either scared of it or I don't have the money or the time. But it's not it's not a good excuse. So I want to know what your excuse is, and I want to know what you plan to do to get over that. Because nobody has any excuses for this. I've seen people in here that work like 2 full-time jobs and start a business. So, yeah.
Well, you heard it here. What's your excuse? Comment below.